Razavani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me on Zoom today on this Sunday afternoon, Mr. Ohara Davies, aka OD. What's happening, Ohara?
Doing, bro? I'm good. I got the Sunday off, trained Monday to Saturday, so I'm just resting today. So I'm at home, chilled out
I
after
know
a
you
great
spoke
night.
to you like a week or so ago, but how are things? Everything good?
Yeah, things are all good. Things are going so good. Um, Training, improving, and I'm working on a fight day. I'm just in talks now with MTK about what I'm doing next. So that should be sorted out within the next few days, and then I'm right back on it.
Just want to jump straight into it. Last night saw a great night of British boxing. Another great show by Matchroom, your favorite promoter Eddie Hearn, headlined by Josh Kelly and David Avanesyan. A lot of people thought that this fight was too soon for Josh Kelly, being only 11 fights in, 10 fights in, whereas Avanesyan had close to 30 odd fights. But obviously, you dare to be great. You dare to jump in and beat the man in a way. For obviously David being the European champion, how do you assess the fight?
For everyone saying that it's a bit too early, Kelly taking that fight. Before the fight, they were saying that he's this and that, and he's bound to win. But as soon as he got beat, all of a sudden, oh, it was way too early. They weren't saying that energy before the fight. They was like, this guy's bound to win. He's too good. He's too this. He's too that. So a lot of people just first they say this and then they say that. I'm like, which one is it? Stop changing. But the fight was a good fight. After watching round one, Kelly looked really fast, sharp. And I remember after the first round, I was like, Kelly's got this. As long as he can fight like this throughout the next 12 rounds or so, he's got the win. But David Avanesyan realized after round one and round two that him trying to box long range and him trying to be smart and sharp, it's not going to work. Kelly's too sharp and too smart for him. So what he done is he made it a rough and tough fight. It was like a dog fight. He made it a dog fight. Just throw shots. Don't think about what shot you're throwing. Don't try to be all smart and all tactical. Just throw the shot. Be on the front foot, attack him, rough him up, outstrength him. And that's what he done. But at the same time, I feel like after Kelly got cut, he got a cut on the back of his head. I feel like he just weren't the same since then. Ever since he got that cut, you weren't the same. So I'm not sure if that cut was on his mind or if he was in pain, because ever since he got the cut, he was fighting on the inside. And he was fighting Avanesyan's fight, not his fight. So I feel like him having that cut could have affected him, but only he knows.
As you said, he started off very, very fast. His speed was obviously shown, his movement was shown. And in the second round, he buzzed Avanesyan and then obviously tried jumping on him to take him out quite quickly. Obviously, round three, round four then came in. He started to slow down. Why do you feel like he started to slow down, though?
I don't know. Either the cut affected him, or a lot of these amateurs, like Josh Kelly, he was a great amateur boxer, Olympian, great amateur boxer. Don't forget, amateur fighters fight for 3 rounds, and then I feel like making that transition from amateur to the pros, a lot of people, they can't handle it when you're, as an amateur, you only have to be sharp for that either 3 or 4 rounds, and then that's it, the fight's done. So a lot of these guys, they're sharp for the first 3 or 4 rounds, but once it gets past round 4, they find it hard, and it's not every amateur that can make that transition into the pros. Lawrence Okoli's done it great. Josh Taylor's done it great. Campbell done it good. DeGale done it good. But I've seen other amateurs come through the scene, Olympics, and as a pro, they just ain't good as a pro, because making that transition is really hard. So with Kelly, that could be the case, or the cut on the back of the head might have affected him. I don't know, but he did really slow down after round 3, but only he knows why.
A lot of people on Twitter, as always, the Twitter media, the Twitter boxing fans, were talking about how Josh Kelly's overrated. You know, he's not as good as people think he was. The reality is Josh Kelly could have easily have fought anyone else that he wanted to. He's only 11 fights in. He's had 18 months out of the ring. He's just had, I think, another baby quite recently as well. So he could have taken an easy touch. Do you feel like no matter whether you take an easy touch or you go in a difficult fight, which you end up losing, you're always going to get that hate?
Listen, if Josh Kelly, if you fought someone easy, they'll say, he ain't doing no good. He's only fighting someone easy. When he fights someone hard, then he gets BR. He was a hype job. Boxing fans, they always got something to say. Always got something to say. If they say bad things about Floyd, the best fighter that ever lived, if they can still say bad things about Floyd, listen, man, they ain't got anything good to say about any of us. And a lot of these boxing fans, they're internet trolls. They want someone to abuse and they want someone to say bad things about. And we're never going to impress them. So at the end of the day, you just got to do what seems right in your eyes. And I don't look at what they write online. I never look at what they write online. And if I do, I look at it and I laugh. Never take it to heart, never take it personal, because boxing fans, they've all got different opinions. And once you lose, they jump off the hype train. They don't support you no more. They don't come out to your fights. And I've really got something against these fans because they're something else, man. These boxing fans are a bit mad. They're a bit mad still.
Last week we saw Josh Warrington take his first professional defeat. This weekend we've seen Josh Kelly take his first professional defeat. We saw Dylan White lose with an emphatic knockout by Povetkin in August. Do you think the crowd has an effect as well? Because these fighters are used to big audiences.
Not forgetting one fight. Robbie Davis Jr. took a crushing defeat last night.
We're going to come to him later, yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I forgot the question you asked me.
But obviously, the three fighters, Josh Kelly, Josh Warrington, Dillian White, all of them fought behind closed doors, no fans. Do you think that has an effect as well on the energy?
I think because ever since all this stuff's been happening, all the fighting behind closed doors, I've been seeing a hell of a lot of upsets. And I wasn't seeing upsets like this before lockdown. So I feel like having no fans there does affect fighters. Look at my last fight example. Tyron McKenna fought the whole fight on the back foot. And he ain't ever done that. Tyron McKenna's the kind of guy that needs the fans and the crowd. And he thrives off that. And sometimes if you're a fighter that thrives off the crowd and the noise and the hype, and then there's no crowd, it can affect you. With me, on the other hand, it worked in my favor. I want to fight behind closed doors again, mate. I get booed into these fights. So with no fans there, it's the greatest thing ever to me. So, but with these other fighters, it has affected them in like a real negative way. Josh Warrington was probably the worst one because, mate, the guy's a machine. The guy's an animal when he fights, throwing shots constantly. He can take a shot. The guy's on it. In his last fight, he just weren't there. He just wasn't there. And I feel like he's someone that needs the fans and the crowd there. And you'll see if he fights in front of the fans and the crowd in his next fight, those guys up in Leeds, they give him energy and they give him strength. And some of these fighters, they need that. They thrive off that.
As you mentioned, Robbie Davis Jr. took a loss, majority decision. What did you make of his fight?
Listen, the scoring was a bit too close. I feel like the other guy won by far, but the first judge had it down as a draw. I was thinking, the hell's going on here? Then the other ones had it 114 to 116. I'm like, that's way too close, mate. The guy won by a large margin, and Davis Jr., another one. He's someone that I've seen fight a lot better than that. So in the fight last night, it weren't him. Something was wrong. Even though I don't like the guy, I have to admit the guy's a good fighter. And what I saw of him last night, it just wasn't him. He looked weak. He just weren't there. He looked a bit confused. He's got Dominic Ingle in it, like he's got him as a coach. Dominic Ingle's a great coach. And I feel like them two as a team, they were going to do big things. But what I saw of them last night, probably having no fans there affected them in a real negative way. But these English promoters, listen, man, they bring in all these Mexican fighters and they keep on this and they literally come in here knocking out all our fighters. And it's happened quite a few times. I've seen it happen quite a few times. So Eddie Hearn's got to learn. Listen, man, you're looking for someone, stop bringing in all these Mexicans because, mate, they're doing something to us and they're beating all of our fighters. All these Mexicans, as soon as the phone rings, they're like, hell yes, English fighter, I'm gonna go win. All the Mexicans out there, they got their phone there waiting for the phone call. As soon as Eddie Hearn phones them, they celebrate before the fight is even made because they know that they're gonna win.
Chief Support saw Marku and Charlton, and I know you and Florin have had some back and forth in the past as well. A lot of people had Charlton favourite for this fight. How did you assess his performance and obviously Florin's performance compared to his previous performance as well, which was a draw?
Floyd Marku looked a lot bigger than him. So obviously there was a big weight difference in that fight. We all know that Charlton fights at what weight does he fight at? He fights at super lightweight or lightweight, something like that. So he went up a weight class to take this fight. So he must have been getting paid okay for him to go up a weight class. The weight difference was there. You could tell from the first round. Charlton's there throwing his biggest, hardest shot. Floyd Marku just walked through them, had his hands up. He didn't even feel it. And every time that Marku threw shots against him, it hurt him. Every time we threw shots against Marku didn't even feel it. But Marku was doing good in the first few rounds. He was looking at the best thing since sliced bread in the first 4 rounds. Everyone was like, wow. But then once it got into round 5 or round 6, Marku slowed down and he took a standing count. And Marku fought a great fight up until that point. And it really, it just kind of concerned me, because if Marku went down against a super lightweight like that, a guy that's not even his size, imagine fighting someone that is his own weight class, like Chris Congo. Imagine fighting someone like that. Once you get floored, Chris Congo's not going to be backing off, letting you off the hook. And this guy can hit a lot harder. So, we've got to see him against someone that is his own weight class. But what I saw of him last night, he fought a real good fight. And, a lot of people made a certain judgment of him based on his last fight when he fought Jamie Stewart, which it was a draw. And I feel like he worked his guts off. He sacked Don Charles, got himself a new coach because he realized that he thought he had to make a few changes, and it paid off. So now everyone wants to see him in with someone good. I'd like to see him and Kelly fight next. Josh Kelly against Floyd Marku is a good fight, because Marku can't go backwards now. He's only had a few fights as a pro, but he's on a big stage now, and he's got to fight someone that's got someone good. If he's claiming to be this next big thing, he has to prove it, and he can't prove it against bums. He has to prove it against someone that can fight. So Marku versus Kelly, I feel like is a great fight.
I know you and Mark have had issues in the past, but is that a fight you will entertain one day in the future?
100%. If he can come down to 10, if he can come down to 10 stone, if he wants to make the fight at 147, we can make the fight at 147. Sam Jones, he's got my number. He can speak to MTK. We can make the fight happen. I've never backed down from any fight. So, but at the same time, is it a fight I would take right now? He ain't won a belt. He ain't won a belt yet. He needs to win an English title, even win a Southern Area title, even win a British title, win something. I've been in this game for years now, and I've done my thing. I've got beat a few times against world champions, but I've done my thing. And you can't justify getting a fight against me based on hype, based on a few Instagram followers, based on Eddie Hearn and Sam Jones saying, yes, he's the next big thing. That don't qualify you to fight against a fighter like me. To fight against a fighter like me, you have to have won something. And if you ain't won anything, then you've got to be paying me exceptionally well. And if he wants to fight me right now, I would have to be getting paid exceptionally well. Eddie Hearn's going to have to break the bank with this one. Even though Eddie Hearn threw me under the bus, it's been about 3.5 years now. Eddie Hearn threw me under the bus, even though they knew I was innocent. They knew that I didn't do anything wrong, and still they threw me under the bus, and I live to tell the tale. But they can still get me on one of his shows if the price is right.
What would happen in that fight?
Oh, come on. Come on. I ain't got to say, everyone knows what happens. Everyone knows what happens in a fight. I won't be losing.
Okay, we look forward to it. If it happens in the future. Ohara, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time on this Sunday afternoon. Much planned for the day?
Chilling out indoors. Sat on a PS4. I got GTA last night, so I've been playing Call of Duty a hell of a lot, and I feel like I'm getting a bit bored of it now. So I got a Grand Theft Auto. I'm gonna do all the things in that game that I can't do in real life. I don't want to be going to jail, so I'm gonna sit down on the sofa doing all the things on the game I can't do in real life. So I'm gonna be enjoying my Sundays today.
Ohara Davies, IFL TV. Thank you very much.